Welcome back to the Main Beam Podcast. We're powered by HLRBO. Get on HLRBO.com and check out all their leases. Man, they have everything from duck leases to deer hunting leases, turkey leases. They have day leases, week leases, all the way up to yearly and multiple year leases on there. So check them out. They're one of the biggest lease companies out there. And
from the U.S. to Canada.
Yeah, U.S., Canada. They got across all 50 states, I believe.
I don't know about Hawaii.
Well, I don't know. They might.
They might.
Might have to check it out. But no, we're powered by HLRBO, so we'll plug them right off the rip. Check them out.
This is episode 12.
Yeah, episode 12. We're in a little different studio tonight in a special place. I think we're going to go ahead and just call it the Whiskey Duck for Shane. That way he can't change the name.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've been debating for a little while, I guess. We're up here at a duck club of our
uncles that we talk about a lot. I'm sure you've heard us mention him on the podcast here and there, but he kind of really got us into waterfowl. So we are up here spring conservation season shooting some snow geese. Well, not doing much shooting, doing a little more watching them fly over. But
yeah, but Shane was the one that probably took us on our first ever waterfowl hunt.
Yep.
We went hawker hunting and then took us snow goose hunting, and we kind of got hooked from there.
Yep. So Shane's not sitting with us tonight. We'll have to get him on a different time. But we got two special guests with us tonight. We got his boy, Gavin, and we got Markus with us. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Yep, I'm Gavin here, just hanging out.
Our little cousin, Gavin,
the
killer himself.
And I'm Markus, I guess.
Oh shit!
God,
no,
knew that was coming.
That's funny. It's cool sitting here with two younger people, honestly, because obviously we're only on episode 12, but everyone we've done so far has been with someone a little older. So you guys are the first guests that are younger than us, and it's cool to see. Watch Gavin especially watching him grow up from a little kid into what he's grown to be, duck hunting and goose hunting across the country and doing the different stuff he's done. So,
yeah, if you want your ass kicked in some hatchet throwing, come on down.
Yeah, we got hatchet throwing at the Whiskey Duck. So,
yeah. We still got to have that tournament tomorrow, Markus.
Is that tomorrow or is that tonight still?
Depends on how late this goes, I would say.
Well, I mean, it ain't that late.
Shoot, I won't be participating tonight. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
That's all I'm hearing from Brady right now.
Shoot, no, we drove up here Friday night to hunt for the weekend. We got Uncle Floyd with us too. He's in the other room.
He's been a hoot.
So we got Floyd's on his first snow goose hunt, and he was hanging out in the pit today, so it was pretty cool. We had the whole crew together.
We're supposed to be hunting snows, and currently we've only gotten actual snow on the ground.
Yeah, we shot some Friday though before you.
Yeah, you guys did.
We shot a few yesterday.
Shot
19.
Yeah, 17 yesterday. In the blind and 2 in the bush.
Yeah.
You guys been up here since?
We got up here Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
After
right.
School.
Thursday night about what? 8:30.
Was there any snow on the ground when you guys got up here?
There was not. It started snowing Friday morning.
About 5
and
o'clock.
that's when it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I texted Shane and I said it's snowing in town, and he said it's starting to snow up here, which I think we would have done better today for sure if we didn't have the snow on the ground and the wind wasn't all the best, and they were kind of refuge hopping today. So
I think probably the biggest thing was just I'm going to tell you, the snow kind of shook them up. We had fresh migrators in, and they know where that refuge is.
Yeah, and I think tomorrow with the south wind, hopefully we get some new birds pushing through, or a little more action tomorrow. I think.
Of the birds you guys killed, how many of those were juvies? Actually,
A lot.
A lot of blue geese. A lot of blue geese, but none of the blue geese I think were juvies.
A lot of blues.
Yeah, no juvie blues though.
Yeah, we did have one.
Did we?
One greasy juvie.
One greasy juvie.
I actually should have known they were juvies if you were shooting on Markus.
I'm not the one that whipped.
Oh, that's funny. So, tell
There's
us
more videos of Fuzz missing than me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we turn all the cameras off in the snow goose blind that way. No, I guess if you guys want, tell us a little bit about how you got into waterfowl hunting, and kind of, you can go into a couple stories if you want to, your favorite hunts over the past couple of years.
Let's see, Marcus, you want me to start?
Yeah, because
you just got into it.
Yeah, because this is my first year doing it.
All right, well, I'll start in. So basically, I was thrown into it very little. I was little enough. I couldn't even hold a 410. I was just going along, and yeah, it was.
Yeah, you were small whenever. I knew.
Because your dad has waterfowl hunted for.
Oh goodness!
His whole life, 30 years.
He told me 45.
I remember him talking about being in this same area when he was little.
Yeah,
and it was crazy. They'd come off just refuge, and they'd shoot them coming over top the trees in a concrete pit.
Yep.
That Uncle Floyd and Grandpa.
Yeah,
our grandpa used to. So I guess our grandpa used to hunt the same area and and Floyd got your dad into it way back in the day, and then he's pretty well hunted ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's interesting. I mean, between, Floyd and Grandpa, Shane and Gavin, I mean, there's a lot of years of hunting in this whole area, like sitting,
Yeah.
And it's interesting to listen to them all the time. I'm sure you've heard it even more than me, Gavin, the amount of how things have changed since when they hunted up here.
There used to be thousands and thousands of geese. I mean, where we were at, it was to be called the goose capital of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally the skies would be black. It would black out the sun with how many geese were in the air. They'd come over the treetops, and they would, the 10 gauges, they just
lay into
them.
Floyd had his 10 gauge today. That's all they used to shoot.
And what's even interesting is Grandpa and Floyd and my dad, they were up here a while back and were eating lunch in a place, and they actually met. Like, they were in right where their pit was. They could pretty well see it. They met the guy who they used to lease it from.
Really?
In the little gas station shop. And they met the guy and were talking, and it was...
Yeah, that's cool. This whole area has, I feel like...
Crazy.
Yeah, such a
world.
deep-rooted, history of waterfowl. But it's cool to see the change in it over the years, and how the passion for it's still the same.
I know, Grandpa used to tell me, and I'm sure he's told the both of you as well, or we've all been there when he's told it, and you couldn't just go anywhere and see a goose. You couldn't go to your local golf course or the park and feed them bread. They were in the northern territories, basically Canada, and they would migrate south, and then they would go back north when it warmed up. And
they were to say they were where they wanted to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was kind of it. And so it's amazing over the years how things have changed. And I'm sure your dad, as long as he's hunted, has probably seen the biggest change.
Yeah, the flyways are changing.
Yeah.
I have seen this just in the last few years. The snow geese have changed as well.
Yeah.
Used to back home, they're big bottom, bunch of crops, and just used to. They say there was so many snow geese that would land in that field and feed that literally you would drive your truck down the road and they would part a C, and they would come back as soon as you went past them.
Yep.
Again, in them fields, and they must have just been like a white sheet.
Yeah.
Where did snow geese originate from? Because you never heard of Grandpa talking about shooting snow geese back in the day.
So they originated back from, basically, I'm going to tell you.
I'm not 100% sure.
The snow goose populations went from steady and fine, like they had been for, hundreds and hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
They would migrate, just nobody ever hunted them because they were in such big flocks. They were so hard to get in to anywhere with so many eyes. But back in 1960, 70, 80, somewhere in there, they saw a 300% increase in snow goose population in like 1 year.
Yeah, just had a big boom of them.
And
I can see that.
When they implemented the conservation order to keep the population in check, because they saw and they were afraid it would destroy the tundra up in all the nesting grounds.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing they're not relying on us to help with the conservation order.
So,
we ain't done our part.
Yeah, we ain't done very good.
No, we ain't.
So
We ain't shot nothing.
getting back to, growing up hunting, what do you remember as like your first hunt with your dad or?
My first hunt that I really remember would have been way back. I was probably 3.5, 4 years old, maybe younger, and
Marcus's age.
Yeah, something like that.
And I was going with him down back at home and just outside of town.
Yeah.
To a little water hole. Just had some timber around it, and we went teal hunting.
Oh yeah, I do remember your dad saying that.
Yep, and that's that teal that I have in my room at home.
Yeah.
That's standing right there is the first bird I ever killed.
That is right. Yep, I do remember that. Wasn't Dog with you guys?
Oh yeah, bird dog was there.
Shout out Dog. Yeah, he. I know.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, your first bird was a blue wing?
Blue wing hen.
Blue wing teal.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then it kind of just progressed from there. I know you just kept going and going, and you guys,
Yeah.
did a lot of different hunts and stuff over the years. When did you start coming up to the pit and stuff and hunting, or was that kind of later in?
Up to the pit, I started coming up when I finally switched to a 20 gauge, because I had been shooting a 410.
Yep.
And it was just single shot 410. Once I switched to that 20 gauge, you only got to put one shell in, and you get a semi-automatic gun. It doesn't kick that much. You only have to put one shell in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why everybody's so skeptical about getting young kids a semi-auto, because they're gonna have 3 shells. You only got to put one shell in it.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, and I was so little, I couldn't stand up and shoot out of the pit. I was so little. And one day we had a guy, I think I was sitting on the steps and shooting off the steps to get out of the pit. But one day we had a guy come in from out of state. I think it might have been Sampson.
Yeah.
Brought his massive Yeti cooler. And he's like, oh, here, just stand on this. And I stood up on that Yeti cooler, and
it was perfect.
It was perfect. I could see right out of that pit, and that's what. And
the birds were in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I remember that. I know back when me and Lena first come up snow goose hunting, we always had your dad had that Yeti, the 60 quart Yeti or whatever. And he'd bring it in.
Yeti.
Yeah, he'd set it in there, and you'd climb up right on top of it, and you were good to go.
Oh yeah.
I think the coolest thing is, since I didn't grow up or have that much of a background, and I don't know when Grandpa really stopped hunting waterfowl, because I'm pretty sure there was a pretty big.
So Grandpa stopped hunting waterfowl when they switched over to steel shot, because all of his guns could no longer
shoot. That is right.
They couldn't
That's
shoot.
Right. I remember.
They all took lead.
Yeah, I remember him saying that now.
That's
funny
stopped.
you say that, because he has told me that story. I completely forgot.
Yep.
He had definitely told me that. So without, our dad never was into waterfowl, I don't know if he's ever been. And Grandpa had been back in the day, but long before us.
Yeah.
And Uncle Floyd kind of stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Until we went to Nebraska this year.
Yeah, it was the first time he's been, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, been shooting some pheasants and things, but
nothing waterfowl
Yeah.
related. But it's kind of neat seeing, you and your dad waterfowl hunting, because for me and Brady, being from the deer side and learning and seeing, how many birds you've killed, and some of the bands you've killed alone, and being able to, I guess, learn a lot of it from you all, because we don't really.
Oh, we didn't know what the hell
really
we were doing.
Have a clue. So
yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure if I even still have a clue what I'm doing.
Well,
we try.
Just winging it.
Yeah.
That's all any of us can do.
No.
Yeah.
You're always learning. We say the same thing with deer.
Yeah.
You can never. outguess them. But you guys definitely like know what you're doing and kill a lot of birds.
Don't be looking at me while you're saying know what you're doing.
Marcus, we know you don't know what the hell you're doing.
No.
How's switching over to you? You just got into it this year, Gavin said, which I didn't know. I thought you.
Yeah, no, this is my first year doing it.
Really? So what was your first hunt this year then?
My first hunt was not a hunt. It was
a jump shoot.
No, it wasn't. It was I had bought my duck stamp just because, more or less, and I was walking by this pond, and I was sitting on the bank of this pond, this farm pond out in, rural Missouri, and some flock of like 4 gadwall flew over, and I shot 2 of them out of it. And
pass shooting.
Oh yeah, no, there was not a decoy to be seen. I didn't even own waders. And funny. They flew over, and I shot and spent 45 minutes looking for them because they went way down in the timber off the edge of this ditch by the pond. And finally, I found them, and I was so excited just to find out that they were hen gadwall. And I was like, oh God,
that's funny. So then, what? If that was your first hunt, where'd you go from there? I guess was it goose hunting after that?
A little bit of honker hunting. Was able to go up to Grand Pass a couple times with some buddies and whatnot, and then I actually met Gavin and Shane. They're a mutual friend of ours. Yeah, Justin. And then once I met them, I kind of started talking to Gavin and went from there, and then they invited me up to go to Pete's and all that.
And then here you are.
Here I am sitting here doing a podcast.
So you've scratched off a couple ducks, and then this year you guys killed a few at Pass and
a couple at Pass, and I shot several just off farm ponds and whatnot.
Yeah, and then you guys did pretty well in normal honker. You guys killed quite a few honkers up at Pete's too, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. And we shot a few off before that, before I started going with Gavin and them. But then once I started going with Gavin, that was really like my first actual waterfowl hunt.
Yeah. So this is your first actual snow goose hunt then?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. Dude, I didn't even know what a snow goose was up until like 2 months ago. And then about a month ago, or a little less now, Gavin's like, hey, you want to go snow goose hunting with us during the conservation order? And I was like, I guess. So he's like, well.
So it's funny you say that. The first waterfowl hunt, I guess, it was the first waterfowl hunt I think that we ever did.
The first waterfowl hunt that we ever went on was...
Well, aside from Tom's.
Was it at that lease?
It wasn't at Tom. No, it was before that. We went and hunted the golf course in
yeah.
And it was... I don't know if you had went with us or not, Gavin. It was me, Shane, and Bird Dog.
Yeah.
I might have gone on that.
Yeah.
We kind of brushed ourselves in these weeds and stuff, and we had a few honkers fly over, but...
Yeah, was that over there right across the bridge?
Yeah. Didn't do any good. And I think after that, the second real waterfowl hunt that we've been on was snow goose.
Yeah, but what I was getting at was the funniest thing is imagine, Marcus, the atmosphere today. Like everyone cuts up the whole time. We cook in there. Like it's fun the whole time. But the first time we ever went, we shot like 60 geese.
Yeah,
the first day
we came,
and me and Landon were like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, we had no clue. I mean, I didn't bring no hearing protection or nothing. I don't forget.
Your ears would have been dead.
Yeah.
And I didn't know nothing about taking your plug out and putting extension tubes on. I didn't even have a waterfowl gun. Still really.
Yeah, I was shooting.
I brought the old Mossberg 935 I had, and we were just actually. I think Peter Shane gave me one of their guns to shoot at some point. But between I would say daylight and 1, we killed like 2 birds, and that was it. And we were still having a heck of a time. We cooking pies in the blind and cinnamon rolls.
No, that was in Pete's first pit.
Yeah.
That was in the old original.
Yeah.
The old 6-man.
Yeah.
Just
tight pit.
Flat with the little bench, and we had the little stove. Had the little Magic Chef stove.
Yep.
We cooked pies and cinnamon rolls.
I was just going through pictures today of us back in that thing.
That's funny. That's been a number of years ago now.
Man.
But what I was getting at was like telling Marcus, like it was crazy to us because we coming from like no waterfowl background at all and didn't know what the hell we were doing. And we come in and it's like, just boom, 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 boom. You're knocking down geese, and as fast as you can reload, we got more spinning in, and we just kept shooting. Mm-hmm. And instantly we went home. We were like, holy shit! Like,
yeah, we only hunted. Yeah. We only had hunted one day. I think we came up Saturday night and we hunted a Sunday and we went home.
Yeah,
and between, like I say, sunrise and noon, we killed 2 or 3 birds, and that was it. And then actually 2 guys got out of the pit and left and were headed home because
I remember that.
They were from up north Minnesota.
Isn't that always how it works?
Wisconsin. And so we had less of us in the pit, and between we were just sitting there talking, and me and Brady were just kind of taking it in. We didn't really realize, and Shane and Pete were talking to some guys, and like, I don't know, we think it's going to pick up. Our birds left last night and from down south, and all of a sudden between 1 and
1 and 5.
You couldn't keep your gun loaded. We were just knocking them out.
Yeah,
and it was like, this is awesome. And next thing you know, my shoulders started getting a little sore. My ears were ringing, and I'm like, we just kept shooting and shooting and shooting.
Yeah, and I definitely know what you're talking about because like I'm like you guys. I've come from deer hunting my whole life and whatnot, but I've never waterfowl hunted or anything like that up until this year, like I said. And I went on a goose hunt with Shane and Gavin and Pete up there at Pete's place, and we're all sitting there talking and whatnot. And then like today, we're sitting there all laughing and joking and cooking, and I'm like, what is going on? Everything I've ever done hunting related, you're dead silent the whole time, and you're sitting still. And today we're walking around cooking eggs and sausage and cutting up and telling stories. And
how many eggs?
Then finally somebody will go, "Hey, birds!" and everybody gets quiet for about 30 seconds, and it's like, well,
and wait till tomorrow when we get like 4 pounds of bacon, and 3 pounds of sausage. And
Floyd said he had 3 pounds of bacon, or 4 pounds of bacon, 3 pounds of sausage, and something else. And he was wondering if he thinks that's going to be enough meat for us tomorrow.
I feel like obviously I've only duck hunted a handful of times up in Pete's Pit, but I know it's an experience. I feel like in snow goose season, like I wish everyone could experience like the whole atmosphere of it, because it's hard to explain to other people who've never done it. But it's like, say anyone who's ever had like a deer hunting camp, after you get done, everyone comes back, you cook a meal, everyone's sitting, you may drink a couple cold beers, and it's no different in the pit. Like the whole day, you may sit there 12 hours, but the whole day you're sitting there cooking.
It's like deer camp.
The whole day is the after hunt.
Yes.
Yep.
And so
snow goose is a whole different animal, I'm learning.
Compared to duck hunt, I mean, duck hunting is a little different because you're calling to the ducks.
Yes.
You're constantly, waiting, ducks
watching.
Ducks are quiet. Snow geese, they travel in packs of, thousands. So you can hear them from miles away. And all you got to do is just
flip a button.
I hear something, click, click.
Yep.
And,
and
go off.
The setup that they got is not something that a lot of average people have. Like it's a luxury as far as snow goose hunting goes. The pit and all the decoys and the sound system's all hooked up with a flip of a switch and it all comes on. So we're very fortunate to be a part of it. But I wish it's something that like everyone could experience, because it's so cool being able to.
I think it's neat, just the fact of snow geese, because they fly by the thousands, to watch them. Just even all the adults that flew over us and stuff today, that none of them ever decoyed, but just the amount of birds in the air is like,
it's nuts.
You know what's interesting is when the adults decoy.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had that early in like duck season. We came up to duck hunt. We had like 300 rags out just cause. Mm-hmm. We shot like our limit from like 6 to like 11.
Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, that was when they were migrating south at that point.
We shot 40, just me and my dad. Nope, just plugs in. So that's 3 shells per person, and we shot 40. And that was crazy because we had 300 rags, and Oh, we didn't have a very good snow goose call. Let's just put it that way. It was a little old, a little dirty. We tried.
Fuzz blowing it.
Man, I feel like it's some of them days it just gets to where you almost don't even have to call sometimes, and the bird just.
We didn't.
Today was not one of those.
No, man. Today was one of them tough days, but there's a number of hunts I can recall over the years where you're on the spot and you can lay there, and it don't matter if you make a peep or not, the birds are coming.
I wonder a lot of it though, like today, how well a bird can see from as high as they fly, and with the snow that we got on the ground, it's not like
the snow definitely didn't help.
Dusting.
Yeah,
and I mean the snow. Your snow decoys are white, other than your, few juvies or your blues that are in the decoy mix. But how well can they actually see them?
So I'll tell
against
you,
a white snow ground.
I'll tell you a big thing with your birds is they can see in UV.
Oh,
so
speaking of the devil, here's Floyd.
There he is, the man, the myth, and the legend.
Floyd.
There's our goose guide.
Is this? Are we filming this?
Yeah, this is
live, Floyd.
We're live.
You're live, Floyd.
Sit down. We were just telling about all the birds you killed today.
We got a mic and a headset sitting right there for you.
My shoulder's still sore.
Yeah, your shoulder's a little sore from all the shooting.
All that
today.
shooting. That damn 10 gauge. Told you.
I told you boys what it takes to kill them. Y'all don't believe me.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
You guys are getting better.
Yeah. Yep.
I just need water.
The only thing Floyd was able to tell us all day was a whole bunch of lies.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, there's no lies in the pit, right, Floyd?
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
I didn't hear one all day, I'm sure.
What happens in the pit stays in the pit.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Oh, lie.
Good enough, though. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's it. We didn't kill nothing, but it's fun. We're having fun.
Good food. Good everything. Good party.
Yeah, we're gonna get them tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're gonna
think we'll kill some
We're gonna
tomorrow.
blast.
We just had to give them one more day of life before we really get into them.
Oh yeah.
Toying with them, that's all. Toying
Exactly.
with them today.
But
it's like I was talking to Fuzz about, or Gavin, and we were talking, and I said, yeah, it's a lot less. I can honestly give a shit about what we shoot. I enjoy, the people and good times, and everybody, like we were talking about earlier, sitting and having a laugh about whatever stories are being told, and then I enjoy that 10 times more than I enjoy,
Yeah.
just sitting and, shooting birds is fun, but
Yeah, that's the best parts, listening to everybody's stories and listening to Floyd lie.
I swear.
no, he don't lie. Remember, he don't lie.
I swear we probably sat there for nothing but.
Keep it interesting.
Yep, that's right.
Oh
You
yeah.
said a little better food. That's the only thing we're kind of shallow on food.
Yeah.
If we were shallow on food, then
Uh-oh.
dude, yeah, we're screwed.
Oh, we
because
could have fed
had-
all of South Africa with as much food as we had.
Dude, we had more food than South Africa. Okay, we had more food and more water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That takes about one bottle. But
You don't go hungry and you don't go thirsty in the pit.
no,
not at all.
no.
Get back here, Gavin does a heck of a job cooking. I got his name.
Yeah, we'll give him the shout out. Gavin is our camp cook, and he does a hell of a job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's always chefing it up with something.
Yeah, speaking of, we had snow geese tonight, actually. That was damn good.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
a hell of a recipe together before.
That recipe is dang good.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it taste like a steak.
Ribs were good too.
Yeah,
Never
their
had one.
ribs were real good.
I smoked me some ribs there
Yeah, that came from
last
that
Sunday.
last Sunday. You said you had?
Last Sunday I smoked them and then vacuum sealed them, put them in the oven, heated them up. Oh yeah. Little barbecue sauce.
They were damn good. I think the pit might be a little more quiet tomorrow with as much as we ate today and as much as we talked. Some of us might have sore throats and
Oh boy.
be a little stuffed tomorrow.
How long did we just sit
Silence
there
is
and
golden
laugh?
and duct tape is silver.
You going to
Ain't
bed,
nothing
Floyd?
No, I just drank a little water.
The drinking a little water.
This is the whiskey duck, Floyd. Shouldn't that
Yeah.
be whiskey in that
Sure,
water?
it's not whiskey and water, so you can get hammered and hydrated at the same time.
the night is young, Floyd.
I know. I'm waiting on you guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He may be old, but he can run with the young ones.
Yeah. That was
Just
Uncle.
don't actually ask him to run.
That was Uncle Floyd. He came in to get himself a water, and but I don't even remember where we were at.
He's a hoot. I'm glad that he was.
We
able
were
to make
on how they can see.
Oh
it.
yeah,
and
that's
you were
right.
talking about the UVs.
So yeah, the UV is crazy. So when you think, we're seeing in regular colors, they're seeing in a whole different world. It's like when you take one of them blue UV lights and you shine it on stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they're seeing. So like if you have anything neon out there, or you know how like white glows.
Yeah.
Like I've heard about like my dad, they were hunting in a field and it snowed and two guys didn't have snow covers. So they went out to Walmart and bought 2 white sheets. They put them over top of their layout blinds. The birds would like come in, decoy, and they'd circle back around and go out. And they'd never get close enough to shoot.
Yeah, I could see
And
that.
they went away to lunch and they were driving down the road and it's like, what's that purple thing out there in the spread?
It was them 2 white sheets.
It was the 2 white sheets, and they could see them against the snow
Yeah.
where they were sitting, and the light was hitting them just right. They were purple.
Yep.
So you got to
could
think
see
about
that.
it. That's what that bird's seeing.
Yeah, I could see that. It's so weird. Everyone has like different theories about snow geese, and people hunt them 1,000 different ways, and everyone's got different ways of doing it.
Well, I don't think it's just the snows that's seeing the UV.
And
It's
turkeys,
everything.
All birds.
Yeah.
Turkeys do.
And they claim that's why they say
Deer see it too, don't they?
I don't
Deer
know.
seeing black and white.
Yeah, I know. Well, deer see them, yeah, except for
it's like blue,
Blue
and
and
yellow.
yellow.
Or
Yeah,
something.
blue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
That's just what I've read. I don't really know on any of that. But that's along with the UV stuff that you were saying. That's what I always say. Make sure washing any of your clothes. A lot of guys just
Yes.
throw it in the wash or have their wife do it. And
So like that dead down wind stuff, that's what we use for all of our hunting gear. Because if you look at it, if you take an old piece of hunting gear versus a new piece of hunting gear, not only is it just where it's faded, but it has gotten lighter over time.
Yeah.
Where we used to wash with just regular like our laundry detergent,
Yeah.
and the UV lighteners and color brighteners and everything in it, they make it where I bet you we were sitting out there and we were glowing.
yeah,
You look like a damn Christmas tree.
yeah, that's what Shane told me because I would, whenever I first started going with them, I was wearing just, hoodie and whatever.
Yeah.
And hell, that's what I still do most of the time. But
Yeah.
no
Shane
wonder we ain't killing nothing. Marcus is shining like a diamond.
no. I wash all my shit with the dead down wind stuff that has the UV whatever in it. But
Producer.
But he was telling me, he said, yeah, if your mom just throws that in the normal washer or whatever, he said you're sitting out there glowing like a damn Christmas tree.
Yep. I could
See,
get that.
I never realized that either because coming from like a deer standpoint, I never really paid attention to UVs and everything. It was just scent control.
Exactly.
Scent and
Yeah, play in the wind.
scent, color, and movement.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
As long as you're wearing something flat and you're fairly still and they don't smell you, you're fine.
Yeah.
So when we were having this conversation the other day when we got done honker hunting,
Yeah.
it was pretty interesting. We got talking about the UVs and like the decoys. I heard Pete mention something today about like the decoys being UV something.
They have
about
to use a special paint.
Yeah.
So the mistake guys make is when they're making their own snow goose decoys, say out of them big old like old mallard decoys.
Yep.
Yeah, the oversized mallards.
Yes, they end up taking regular white like acrylic paint
Yeah, or spray paint or something stupid.
and they glow like I
Yeah.
was saying, freaking purple in the UV. So you have to buy off like these, decoy websites or decoy making websites, things like that. You have to buy non-UV white paint if you're making like your own snow goose decoys, or they're gonna glow like, they're gonna look not like a snow goose.
Yeah,
Was-
they're gonna light up.
Yeah.
Was there a couple of those out in the floater section of the spread today?
Oh yeah, some old mallard decoys.
Because I was looking out there and I was like, man, a couple of those look really small.
I didn't even
Oh, yeah.
notice.
Yeah, if you look
I'll have
like
to
right
pay
out in
attention
front of
tomorrow.
us, if you look right out in front of us, like the furthest decoy, you can tell it's just an old mallard decoy that's been painted white.
We call those Rossies.
Oh yeah.
I call those
Little
sky
ones.
chickens.
Man, used to. We just sold them. We had Bigfoot decoys that were snow geese. Them suckers were humongous.
Like the size of a honker.
They look like a freaking swan.
Is that the one my buddies from Iowa just bought?
Yes. And the feet on them were like regular size of like what a Bigfoot decoy is, but they were pink.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny.
Well, you've got those swan shells that look like snow geese out there too.
They're not even swan shells. They're just oversized.
Yeah, they're oversized snow geese.
Okay, that thing. They're
Speaking of oversized,
they're 4 foot long. That's a swan.
They're huge.
This ain't no lie. We hunted with a couple guys with Crump and D. They still talked about it when we were goose hunting this year. They have.
Do they have the goose chairs?
Yeah, no, I guess it's like a giant goose shell. And
Yes,
they said
that you hide under.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and they said it looks dumb, but they've killed a lot of birds under them.
My dad had had the goose chairs.
Yes.
He said that it either worked or it didn't. It was like at one point, he'd get out there and they would work like nothing else. They just boom.
Yeah.
They're coming in. It's like they don't even know you're there. And then other times it's like
Absolutely
that big
not.
freaking goose thing sitting in the decoys.
Yeah, who the hell invited Goliath?
Who invited the giant?
Yeah, which I can see because we've been talking about doing it. I've been talking about getting one just more or less for shits and giggles, but because, they're funny. They're ginormous.
Yeah.
Well, if they really truly worked on, a good hunt, they would be really efficient because you don't have to pack a whole lot in. It's not packing a whole A-frame, setting it up.
Yep.
You're not packing a whole lot in to sit down and...
Right.
And they're light. Like, they're lighter than a normal layout, I think.
They might be a little heavier because they're
You
nothing
think?
but just, they're big plastic. They're made of, like, decoy plastic.
Yeah.
But it's just a chair inside of a big, gigantic decoy.
I want to do a hard switch from kind of the waterfowl over to, like, just kind of you guys traveling around a lot. I know you guys went to Angel Wings this year, and then we went elk hunting with you guys. And just kind of, if you want to talk a little bit about like some of the different places you've been, because I think didn't you guys go to Arkansas too one time? It was pretty cool.
So I haven't been to Arkansas, but my dad has, and then he used to go up to North Dakota quite a bit. But I have been to Tennessee, I have been to Nebraska, and I have been to Colorado elk hunting.
Yeah, which was neat. We all got the opportunity to go out there this year. Well, actually, Grandpa got to go. So me, Landon,
and Floyd.
Yeah, Floyd got to go too. So it was
all of us.
Yeah, there was 3 generations of people out there.
It was,
hunting, and it was I get 3, 2, something like that, whatever it is.
3
Could have
generations.
been...
Yeah, out there hunting. So it was neat that we all got to experience that this year in Colorado. And
That was...
what'd you guys shoot in Tennessee?
So in Tennessee, it was just a regular waterfowl hunt. We were on a giant lake. So the first day we hunted like wide open water and a floater blind. And like every 3 years or whatever, I think they changed it as soon as we got there. Or the year that we had got there, they were changing around. So you had to draw for which blind you got.
Really?
Like every year, your guides would compete and they would draw for which blind they got, unless if they were grandfathered in.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy that we were hunting in his blind, it was called Trump Tower. And it was actually in the timber. I'll get to that in a second. The open water blind, it was crazy just the difference. They have a different lingo where we were at in Tennessee. It's like listening to gibberish. It was just crazy, just the difference in how they talk. But hunting open water, we didn't do too bad that day. It was a little foggy out that morning, and we had a little different guide, and then we had a different guide in the morning.
Killing just ducks.
I think, it was just ducks. It was a little while ago.
A lot of redheads, not? Or
No, we shot a lot of the same kind of stuff that we shoot around here.
Really?
Just we shot some pintails. Actually, we didn't really shoot much that trip. It was a little bit off.
Yeah.
Compared to what was regularly, getting shot there. But we did shoot. I think I shot that pintail that I have mounted in my room.
Oh, yeah.
I shot that second day in Trump Tower. And you want to talk about some fancy duck hunting? We were sitting in that thing, and they had electricity and a giant propane tank outside, and they had the freaking heaters, and they had a satellite on top, and we were watching the football game just sitting there on the couch watching the football game.
Yes, that's what I remember.
While
Shane
we were eating
saying.
breakfast.
That's funny. I know Shane talks about another one too that he went in Arkansas one year. I think it was like a Connex shipping container in the ground. But
I think one of the coolest things to me is how decked out some people get their
their pits,
their
blinds. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen massive commercial griddles inside. Like, I mean, griddles as big as the size of table that we're sitting at right now.
Yeah.
Just there, it's a humongous, flat iron griddle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I've seen different ones, whether they're in Arkansas, Louisiana, wherever they're at, where people got they're pretty well like whole rooms you go into. They got couches, like pool table, like everything. And
It's crazy.
It's pretty wild how people get some of their pits and stuff, but it's still cool.
It is pretty cool to me because just in the short time that me and Brady have been waterfowl hunting, I mean, we've done everything from A-frames to layout blinds to just laying in the mud in the field, snow goose hunting, to being able to come sit in like a
pit, a nice pit.
Yeah, a nice pit. And so it's really neat to see all the ways that you can do it. The only thing that I've never tried, and I'm sure there's plenty of things that I haven't, but I've never sat under one of them big shells. Like
I've never done that.
I've never done that. I've never done ghillie blankets. Just laying in a field.
Nick and them are running ghillie blankets right now, and they like them, I think. So we haven't hunted with them yet this year. We'll probably get a weekend in March. But
the biggest thing that I found with the ghillie blankets was that it's really your concealment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people talk about, why do the birds, they come right at us and they split like in the middle and they go around our pit. Do they know that the pit's there? Can they sense that there's, a hole in the ground?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen this multiple times hunting in the pit, that some days the birds, it's like they know it's there. They'll come straight at us, and then they'll go around us, and then keep going the same direction that we're going.
I feel like it's that little, which it's so hard to get rid of in a pit because you're, just the way they're designed, but it's
the gaps.
It's that, and I feel like it's just the little lip. Like I feel like that little rise in it, they just see it so much from, migrating the whole way that I feel like they pick up on it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But like you said, there's days where they don't care, and a lot of that is, probably juvies and wind and them wanting to sit down.
There was a guy that Shane was talking to either yesterday or today. I don't remember. But he was saying that the birds can, like, if you're running heaters like we were in the pit today, the birds can
see that the heat waves
coming out of the ground in that gap.
Yeah.
And he said that they can see the temperature change basically, and they know that it's not right, and they know that it shouldn't be there.
I've heard
I
that.
can see that.
And I've heard.
I mean, it makes sense.
Well, if I was a snow goose and it was as cold as it was today, I'd want to get a little closer to them heat waves coming out of the ground.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know what kind of pit John has in the ground, but I know theirs are like little circles. So like his pit's completely flat with the ground, and they literally just pick their little circles up and move them to the side.
It's a slider lid system.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I know when Macy and them take pictures out of them, like their pit's completely flat.
Because like everybody has their own lid, I'm guessing.
So I don't know if you guys have seen one of these before yet, but where they have the pits and they put them right in the middle of their marsh, and they back the water right up, but about an inch to a quarter inch from where that lip is on the pit, and that thing is like just a block of weeds. Is what it looks like, and it is the craziest thing because you've got on your land, where the pits are on land, and they kind of stick out a little bit.
Yep.
These are crazy. I mean, it's like they're gone.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how people hide a lot of them these days, and the different methods they got to, kill birds is pretty crazy.
I'm telling you, just get you a straw and go sit under the water with your shotgun.
Yeah,
Pop up out of the water.
We'll Tim Wells them. We'll just sit under the water with a snorkel in one side of the mouth and a blowgun in the other. And when they come in, we'll and just kill them.
I don't know if Landon could do it. I don't think he could quite pull that one off.
Yeah,
maybe Brady could.
I don't know about that.
I think too, it's neat to see the different strategies that like everyone has. Like each to their own has a different way of hunting, a different way of hiding, a different way of setting their spray.
Oh yeah, there's a million different. Like I said before, there's a million different ways to do it, and if I did it one way, the next guy's going to think it's wrong, and we may kill birds, we may not, and then the week later he may do something, and he may kill birds, he may not. Like it's so weird. Like
that's one thing that I did see in Tennessee. It's real crazy because around here we don't do a lot of like big hail calls. If there's a big group of ducks. We don't just, hail and wah, 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 wah. We don't do a lot of that. We do, more of your greeting, and then your feed chatter, just trying to keep them interested where they'll have migrating groups and they'll sit there and like when we were in Tennessee, they'll wail on that call and you'll think they're going to blow the guts and the inserts out of their freaking call. And they just sit there and they wail on them and wail on them and wail on them. And then you'll see a pair of ducks pop out of that, and they'll come right down and just right in the hole.
That's cool.
It's crazy.
How was Angel Wings this year?
Angel Wings was pretty freaking awesome.
Pretty cool.
We were there, and it was epic. They had big shout out to Ethan who runs it. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
I would very recommend going there. But they had a little bit of a slow season this one with the weather. But last year we had a couple buddies that went, and they were shooting a limit of geese and then a limit of ducks in the same day. And it was
that's
just
cool.
Can't get any better than that.
Yeah. So they had to go to one hunt this year with the weather, but they're hoping to go back to 2 again next year if they can get the birds there. Hopefully the weather's a little better next year.
Yeah, we had a real weird migration. We didn't see any till like after Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, I know with Angel Wings this year, your dad was sending us videos. I don't even know what we were doing, but I know he was sending us videos, and you were hunting in Warm Springs and stuff. It looked really cool when the birds were working.
That was the craziest thing I have ever seen. We were sitting and hunting a spring that you could have. It was literally a little spring, like fed warm water creek.
Yeah.
That you could have jumped across. It was so like small, and it was the craziest thing. There was. I bet you, there was mallards that got up off of that thing when we got there. It was like how they're talking about the sky being black.
Yeah.
There was so many mallards sitting on that little tiny creek.
It's probably the only open water for how far, though.
It was cold, and that's what they were saying. That's what we hunted. All 3 days we hunted ducks. We hunted warm water, spring-fed, either creek or a pond.
Yep.
And the amount of birds that got off of that was just crazy. We did what's called the gentleman's hunt. Just you shoot the green heads when they come in. You just each person, all right, Fuzz, you're up. All right, Shane, you're up. Floyd, you're up.
Yeah.
And you just stand up and you shoot the singles.
That's cool.
And we were so close to eliminating out that day. That was a awesome hunt.
That was that.
Yeah,
that sounds
that's
very,
neat.
very.
Huh?
How'd Floyd do?
So Floyd's problem was.
Is that why you said we were close to limiting out?
Oh, no, not necessarily. Floyd's problem was
getting up.
Yeah, that was Floyd's biggest problem. Was everybody was there and they were there to shoot ducks. Mm-hmm. We wanted to just shoot ducks, shoot geese, whatever we could shoot. We were there to shoot it. So when they were there and they were ready, we were up. And what he was saying was, by the time he got up, there was nothing left to shoot.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we were talking about last night, I guess it would have been. Today, it really was this morning, but we're talking about, we're going to have to kill him twice, once for Floyd and once for everybody else.
Well,
we give him a hard time, but
he enjoys being there anymore. Just the experience.
He gives us just as much crap as we give him, and that's part of the fun. That's why we poke fun at it.
And that's part of hunting.
I just hope that whenever I'm his age, I can still get out and do the things that he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I would hope I've got the people around me that
care enough about me.
Care enough about me that are willing
take
to
me.
Oh yeah, to invite you out, take you.
Come on out. We'll make sure that you get on geese or kill some ducks or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. We had a.
It was 5 degrees this morning. Floyd's, upper 70s, and here he is out there sitting in a pit with us all day long, just
talking away,
happy as hell, and
just having a wonderful time.
He was having the best time probably out of anybody there,
I'm
except for
telling you.
Pat.
Oh my goodness.
So
I swear we sat there and laughed from about the time that he hit the first Marlboro until about the time that he left. He went from one story to the next. I bet there wasn't.
There's probably 3.5 hours of stories just back to back to back.
I wish I would have had that on recording.
There was a lot of them. Yeah,
that was funny.
If we could have recorded half the things this morning that we went through, it would have been.
We'd all be canceled.
It'd have been classic, that's for sure. But
I was you can hear the train going by. You'll probably hear it on the podcast. We're literally 50 yards from train tracks, but
yeah,
we had something pretty cool happen today in the pit. It was interesting, like talk about how small of a world it is, which I'll let Gavin tell it because he's the one who killed the bird. But he, just to kind of like give a pre-story to it, he killed a banded goose, and whenever we were in the pit today, another guy he knew kind of.
So Pete and your dad have a lot of different buddies that they've hunted with over the years, and so they'll have a bunch of people in camp various weekends to hunt, and a lot of them are from out of state. And
so we'll have people we'll create a calendar and like book out dates in the pit. So like weekends, we have guys coming from Tennessee, we have guys coming from Minnesota, we have guys coming from Nebraska. And we have guys coming from all over. And it's just crazy to get to know all the guys from all these different places.
All the places,
that they know.
That's super cool. And so basically, this morning, the guy that was in the pit,
Pat.
He was just randomly talking about
a guy that he knew who was banding up there, and he was banding a bunch of geese. And so I'll tell the story here of how I killed it. We were just sitting there this season picking up goose decoys, and we were like, oh crap, there's geese coming in. We had the ranger sitting there, and I was the only one who had a gun loaded and who had my call, so I gave a little honk, and it's like, well, they're close enough. If you're going to shoot him, shoot him. I shot once. Boom. He didn't go down. Boom. Started helicoptering down, and I swear, in mid of it going down, Pete was like, please don't hit my shed. Please don't hit my shed. That thing landed 6 inches from hitting the gutter on his shed when we were hunting right behind his house. And it was banded in Alexandria, near Alexandria.
Minnesota.
Yes, in Alexandria, Minnesota. We were just talking, and Pat was like, I know a guy, or he was talking about his buddy who was in Minnesota, and he was banding all these geese and just how, crazy they travel around.
He was saying his buddy was hoping he would have got the chance to shoot one this year.
Exactly.
But he banded.
And we were talking, and he's like, oh, yeah, Fuzz shot one that was banded, in Minnesota or whatever, it might be one. And we're like, all right, let's check it. So I sent him, I was like, all right, here it is. I sent him the information. He sent it to his buddy, and he's like, yeah, I may not have, I actually touched the bird or, banded it myself, but I was there the day, and it was in the numbers that, we were banding that day, and I was there when it was banded.
It's
such a small world.
Yeah, how small of a world it is.
That's a memory I'll carry for forever.
Yeah, there's a whole. And you at your age, you've got several bands on your lantern, and you got some pretty cool ones. Another one, I'll let you tell us about your snow goose band.
Yeah, that was a crazy one there. So I was young. This was in 2020. And, again, conservation snow goose. And I was a little younger. And we had a blue goose land behind the blind, just sitting there, real slow day. It landed behind the blind, and it's like, well, it's sitting there. And, there, I was small, at the time. It's like, send him out, he can sneak back there and get it. So I snuck back there and snuck as close as I could get to it, and it started to take off, Boom. 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 The third shot, it dropped. And it ended up being banded. And we looked it up, and actually I got a hold of it. The band was so thin you could have snapped it with your fingers. And I looked it up, and when I turned in the band, it literally said, "Are you sure this is the right number?" Because it's like out of date, kind of thing, and it ended up being 19 years old, and I don't remember where it was banded at, but
Like Manitoba.
No, I thought it was in Texas for some reason.
No, Pete's was Texas.
no, Pete's was Manitoba.
Yeah.
Pete's was Manitoba.
I'm pretty sure the 19-year-old bird you killed, I always remember it as banded in Texas.
Yes, it might have been.
I knew one was one and one was the other. So I thought Pete said today that his was Texas.
But at the time, you were...
I would have been
12 or
11
13.
or 12.
Yeah, 11 or 12.
I would have been 11 or 12, so 4 years ago.
Yeah, so the bird was 7 to 8 years older than...
Let me check the dates here. It was February 23rd, 2020. So what is it today? February 17th. So 4 years and 6 days ago, I would have killed that goose.
4 years and 6 days.
Yeah.
Did
so,
you just say it's the 17th?
It is the 17th, and I killed it on the 23rd, I think. Yep, killed it on the 23rd.
Where'd you say it was banded out of?
I think it was banned in Texas, if I remember right.
Yeah, Pete said he had one that was like 17-year-olds that 17-year-old that came out of Texas too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I was saying, I mean, the bird, or at the time that he killed the bird was at least
Like
7 to
8
years
than me.
older than he was. And the bird was, I think, older than me or you at the time even.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, it would have been
Oh,
pretty
it
well
would've been
same age.
Same,
well.
yeah, same.
Pretty close.
Right.
He was old enough to vote.
Yeah, that's wild. And it's amazing if you think about it. How many times do you think that goose flew? Well, not how many times. I mean, he obviously migrated every year.
19.
But God damn it, Marcus. for 19 years, or however old he was, he migrated every year. And then how old were you when you shot it? Probably...
I would probably be 12.
Yeah, we just said 11.
Yeah,
11,
Yeah,
12.
he's just a wee guy.
Yeah, just a wee guy. So for 19 years, that goose migrated back and forth. You know the amount of spreads he's seen, and I don't know if he ever got shot at.
Yeah,
but
and then he got shot in the face.
Yeah, I'm sure he's seen some stuff. And then Gavin shoots him as an 11-year-old.
Just landed in the back.
What a weak ass goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have loved to have
Gave
seen
him 2
that.
warning shots and kills him on the 3rd shot.
Oh, yeah.
He gave one a warning shot yesterday. We took there's a bird, another blue goose lands in the decoys off to our left, and
Now, sir.
Me and
I
Gav-
didn't miss it.
no,
I
I'm
just
not, I
hit
didn't
it in
say
the
you
butt.
missed it. He hit it with one pellet. Don't let him lie to you. But we get out of the blind, and he shoots. There were 2 that landed in the decoys, one off to the right and one off to the left. He shoots the one off the right at like 30 yards, folds it.
Just whacked it.
I mean, stoned. The one off to the left is just standing there looking at us, so we both start walking towards us, and Shane yells, "Well, don't walk, run." So we both take off running at it, and the goose, instead of flying, just takes off running the other direction. So we're chasing after this goose through the decoys, tripping over decoys and jumping over full bodies and this, that, and the other.
This sounds like a wild goose chase.
Oh, it literally was.
Oh, it was.
And we probably run, 50, 60 yards through the decoys?
No, it was probably 40.
Yeah, 40 or 50.
Yeah.
And this goose finally takes off, and I see Gavin come pull up on it, and he's just standing there. And I'm like, is he going to shoot the thing? And finally he shoots, and the goose, basically acts like a fly bit it on the ass. And then it just keeps flying. And, I shot it in the face at 15 yards maybe?
It wasn't very far.
No, it was close. I thought I was going to miss it. It was so close.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest here, I suck at shooting shotguns, but
No.
it was hilarious. I was chasing this bird through these snow goose decoys, and we're jumping over full bodies and running in between them. And you've got this blue goose just hauling ass the other direction the whole time.
I think we had shot at him earlier.
Probably.
Because I think he had a busted wing.
Yeah, your dad... no, because he
got
up.
got up, but he did have a little spot of clotted blood on his wing.
Your dad did say that he'd been shot before.
Yes.
He said he was crippled before he came in.
Before he come down.
Probably is one of the ones we shot into earlier, or one of the neighbors.
Probably.
I mean, you saw today. There's how many of the neighbors have snow goose spreads out?
Speaking of crippled birds, this just came to mind. I had to tell it real quick. We were honker hunting a couple weeks ago, and we had a honker come flying by us. I don't know. It looked like someone hit this bird in the neck with a shovel. I'm not kidding you. It come flying by, and we all looked at it. There were 6 of us, and we were like, "What in the hell's that?" This honker come flying by us, and it had like its neck was like an
the
S.
most crooked neck.
What?
It was
Scoliosis.
I didn't even film it. I don't know why I didn't pick up anything and film it, but it was so funny. We all looked at it. We were like, "What in the hell is wrong with that goose?" Yeah, it come in. Its neck was like an S.
It was the crookedest neck you've ever seen on anything.
Man.
Yeah. Shane threw a live one on Gavin yesterday.
Oh, that was funny.
We're sitting in the pit and
Just threw it down in the pit and it landed at my
shot
feet.
one, and I mean, we barely shot that goose. And one of the dogs goes and gets it and brings it back, and Shane goes, "Oh, this one's still walking. Here you go, Fuzz," and just tosses it down in the pit.
Right at my feet.
Right at his feet. And I go to grab it, and it goes, and hisses at me and tries to bite me, and I go, "Oh, shit." And it starts taking off down running down the edge of the front edge of the pit.
Because I tried to pin it
Yeah,
and
he
it
tried
got out.
to pin it, and it got out, and it starts taking off running down the front edge of the pit. And
You pinned it.
yeah, I kicked and basically kicked his head in.
Killed it.
And he goes, and Shane goes, and I said something about, "Oh yeah, my bibs got bloody from kicking that goose." And Shane goes, "Why in the hell did you kick a goose?" And Gavin, "Because you threw it on me." Yeah.
Yeah, then we finished her off wringing its neck.
Yeah, but it was hilarious. I mean, if we'd have had as many people in there as we did today, that goose would have run all the way down the middle of us and would have been just running around in the pit because we wouldn't have been able to move fast enough.
Well, I talked about it on the last podcast that we did. I had a turkey that basically came back and got in our blind. I've had a few instances where you shoot them, the dog will go get them, or you even go get them, wring their neck, bring them
It's
back.
like they're knocked out.
Oh,
And
dude, they're so
set them
tough.
down in the blind, and next thing you know,
They're walking around.
they're walking around. Or
We've had that in the pit. Like, we'll be sitting there and it's like, what the? There's a goose walking around.
yeah.
That's why you got to shoot them ball shells.
Oh, I'm telling you. Them things are no joke.
There was one we shot, a honker we shot up there at Pete's. We shot it, and the next group is working, and all of a sudden we saw walking in front of the A-frame. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we're sitting there. We shoot the bird, and I mean, it folded, hit the ground.
I mean,
Stone
thud.
cold dead thud. Sound like a brick getting thrown out of the sky, basically. Dog goes over and gets it. Pete picks it up and just swings it by the head a few times, cranks its neck. I mean, it's laying there all contorted and shit. And next thing I know, we got a group of birds working, and Shane goes, "What the hell?" And we all look out, and this bird's walking around the front of the A-frame. And I mean, it's swaying like it's just drank a 30 rack on its own. But it's just swaying back and forth, walking through the front of this A-frame, just looking at us. And we're all like, well. And then that one time we were hunting with Nick, we shot that bird and it died, and we all thought it died, and then all of a sudden it picks its head back up and it's sitting there looking at all of us while we had birds working.
That's why
it's like they wrung its neck and they set it back down and it was still
Set it up
alive.
like a sleeper shell, and then it picked its head back up.
Yeah, I had to go over there and use my finisher, and
that's what I was going to say.
Finish it off.
I like using a finisher.
they're real quick, clean.
Clean.
I don't,
Yep.
I don't have a finisher. I just have a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
works
there you go.
good.
Sometimes, yeah, but in the pit today and in different areas, you can't really finish them up with the 12 gauge.
No, because even yesterday we had one that we didn't shoot it. It landed in the decoys, and
Yes.
the dog broke and ran out there. And I was like, I can shoot it where it's sitting. I was talking to Pete, and he's like, yeah, but the dog's out. Get out of the pit. And I'm like, well, okay. So but I mean, I definitely can. I can understand where it's definitely helpful to have a finisher or something like that, because the amount of times that we've shot honkers or whatever and didn't have a finisher, and we're trying to wrestle a goose on the ground up there at Pete's house.
The thing about the finishers too, I know all of us sitting here, I like to, for a fast, humane kill, really.
Hey, I got one right on my lanyard right there.
Yeah. And also, not only that, if you have a bird that you're wanting to ever mount and, without
I have
wringing its
done that.
neck and really taking the feathers and stuff off, it's easy. That finisher, literally, there's a soft spot right in the back of the head, slips in,
cock it back and stick it in the brain.
Yeah, kills them
instantly,
and you don't tear any feathers or anything up. So it's like super quick, clean, and that's one thing I really like about using a finisher.
I'd like to talk a little bit about a little deer hunting, because I don't know about Marcus, but I know Gavin's killed a couple nice deer.
I kill babies. I don't kill anything big.
I don't either, Marcus.
It's okay.
Yeah, I haven't shot a deer in like 4 or 5 years. I've been waiting for the big one.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
haven't shot a deer since like the ass into December.
Well, maybe you just switched all over to bird hunting then.
Yeah, after that, I went like
it's so hard to do both because they collide, in that the seasons collide. So I feel like you're either one or the other. But I know there's a couple years you killed nice deer and still killed a bunch of ducks too. So
that's always the hardest part, is finding the balance of, do I want to go after this big deer, that I may or may not see on, that I've seen on camera, but I may or may not ever see. Or do I want to go and play my chances at, shooting a bunch of ducks and geese?
yeah.
Or one of the big deciding factors that I find is, are the ducks and geese flying? What are the reports?
Yeah.
And, is deer hunting going to be good? What's the weather?
Yeah, you kind of weigh your odds, which is better.
Yeah.
I walk into this dude's basement and he'll be sitting there like reading their reports on like the ducks and geese and how many are flying and what's where, and I'm like,
that's after lunch, buddy.
I know. And I'm like, he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm reading reports. What are you doing? And I'm like, I just woke up. Like I don't know. I don't know what
Gavin's dialed.
Dude,
he's dialed in, man.
After lunch, I wouldn't. One day,
Gavin's been doing it since he was out the womb.
Come on, Marcus, get you some white Nikes and step your game up.
Get your Marcus, put your white Nikes on. Get focused. Get your.
The white Nikes have been ordered. They're
on your
Amazon Prime shipping on the way.
That's right.
Here for tomorrow.
I got the New Balances coming too.
I'm gonna text Macy and Sam and say, hey, can we get Hurricane Marcia white Nikes?
yeah,
Give us
some custom HM Nikes.
Yeah.
we need those.
Yeah. Get
but
the HM done on the side of some Air Force.
We don't want them to be able to crease either.
Yeah, no crease proof.
Got to get the guards in there.
Dude,
If you ain't got the guards, you ain't doing it right. I'll tell you that for a fact.
does Hurricane Marsh have trudge boots?
No, I don't.
I don't think that.
They
don't
need
know.
to make some custom white HM trudge boots.
They're working on a lot of cool stuff. I know.
Yeah, they have some.
I know
really
they're working on a lot of
coming
cool
up.
stuff, and they got a lot of stuff behind the scenes going on. So I don't know. I'll have to ask them about that, but that would be pretty dope because I know they're big right now. All the dive bombs got them, and
Yes.
different companies.
Shen has them. Dive Bomb has them.
Yeah.
Dual has them, and they're like, originally they were made for
They're like the new Hey Dudes, honestly.
basically, and they were made
duck
for
hunting, yeah.
Yeah.
boats.
Yep.
But no, all the duck hunters that I know have adopted them, or the goose hunters. They wear them in the field.
Look,
everything.
Floyd's got a pair.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys know.
No, he does. They're-
Floyd had a pair earlier here somewhere.
Yeah, dude, we were coming back from
Floyd has
Frickin-
a whole house in here.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
we were
there's
coming
a
back
whole
from Nebraska, and that's where he got them. We stopped in at Shields, and he bought them there.
That's
Floyd's
hilarious.
becoming a waterfowl hunter again.
Oh yeah,
He packs more stuff than.
Yeah, I texted your dad before we come up here. I said me and Lena were headed to pick up Floyd. I said, yeah, Floyd will be there about 6:15, and we showed up about 6:30. We were a little late, and showed up to his house. And which, keep in mind, I got a F-250 with a long bed. It's a fucking big truck, and I showed up. We had whatever, maybe a quarter of the bed full, and pulled up to his garage and opened his garage. I looked in his garage and I texted Shannon and said, I think we're going to need to rent a U-Haul to get all this shit, up.
Pete asked Shane if y'all were if y'all had emptied the decoy trailer out to get all Floyd's shit up here yet.
Oh, dude, there's a couple times elk hunting this year was, which I don't blame him because there's a lot of times, like I said, we poke fun at Floyd a lot just because he pokes fun back at us. But elk hunting this year, he wanted to bring
everything.
Yes, extra mattresses, extra lanterns.
He was wanting to bring lanterns.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
I mean, I do get it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, there's been several times where, we're off on a trip somewhere and you look at Floyd and you're like, Floyd, we need this. You got it? Yep, I got it right here. And it's the most off the wall.
He always has it right there.
I'm just thankful that we didn't have to unfold the whole map out on.
Oh, yeah.
To get here.
That's why we have Onyx.
Yeah. We've told it like 3 or 4 times already, but he always gets a map before we go somewhere, and it's like, Floyd, watch this, Onyx, beep, boop, boop. All right, we're going there. Let's go.
Exactly. And anymore, like this watch that I got, it's got a freaking GPS in it.
Yeah, everything's GPS. Like, there's no need for a map.
No.
But I will say that's something that I've like,
technology's
a lot of those older guys, just because they did not grow up with the technology that we have, they all overpack like that. Like, they're all, they got to be prepared for everything because anything might happen. And
it's
when those computers go down, they're going to be ready for it. Damn it!
That's right.
And gosh dang it, they are.
They got everything.
Speaking of technology, we were talking a little bit about it in the pit today, but like, all the backpacks and trackers and stuff on geese and how they, mark flight patterns and ducks and different stuff. Yeah. Macy, whenever we did the Hurricane Marsh podcast, she was talking about, she's like, well, how long do you think it'll take until, like, instead of putting a backpack on a duck, they have like a little, robotic freaking duck that just migrates with them, and it's crazy the stuff that I think we're going to see throughout our lifetime.
An AI duck.
Artificial intelligent duck.
I'll send it out there.
I don't know.
Birds are fake. They're all government birds anyway.
Especially pigeons.
We're talking about that. Pigeons are.
They're already all fake.
Man, I'm telling you, we were just talking about that though. The transmitters and the backpacks and stuff, I think they said when the goose is migrating, like a snow goose, its average like flight speed when it's like really migrating is like 98 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And its like maximum elevation is like, what was it? Was it 7,000 or 18,000 feet?
I think it was 18,000.
Yeah. 18,000 was its maximum height that it reached.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
I was just reading that article.
On the spoonbill.
Yeah, it was a spoonie that this like. I can't say it's a high school. This school though put it on. It was down in Mexico somewhere, and they basically funded and they put a tracker on a spoonie and basically tracked him. And at different points, I think his max speed was in the 90s, 91, 93, somewhere in there. And I think his highest elevation that he was flying at was either 18,000. I don't think it got over 20,000. It might have been 21 at the most, but somewhere up there, like unbelievably high.
That's just crazy.
He was flying and covering grounds in one continuous flight of like 900 miles.
Yeah. So what I want to know, I want to sit down with one of like your higher ups in Ducks Unlimited, like we were talking about Pat's buddy Jeff today. Mm-hmm. I would like to sit down with Jeff and just see what he thinks on why your flyways are changing.
Yeah, I'd like to know some of that too. I think they're going to vary year to year just because, like, we've had a drought the last couple of years. Well, yes. Where's the crop good? Where's it not? And then previous to that, where we had a really bad flood year where everything is
underwater.
Everything is water. So I think it's always going to vary year to year, just depending on, and obviously as they do crop rotations and so forth.
Weather, especially like during your migration. I remember the one year snow goose hunting. It wasn't last year, or it might have been last year. They had a gigantic ice storm down in Arkansas when they were migrating up. It pushed everything into Texas, and so we barely got any snow geese at all.
Yeah, I think that was last year because
we didn't shoot like anything last year.
Yeah, you guys I know struggled really bad last year, and the only time we shot them was in Iowa last year. When they finally made it, it was late because it was mid-March and we were up in Iowa still shooting them.
Yeah, we had a good hunt with Nick, one of the first snow goose hunts.
That's right. That's
killed
right.
like 40 some birds that day, but then we did fairly well in Iowa with Steve and Drake.
But I know it took the migration went pretty long last year. It seemed like
it did. So last year, our biggest thing was we didn't kill them when they were actually like migrating through. We killed them when they were trickling through.
Yeah.
All your stragglers is where we'd had any of our good hunts last year. was when they were coming through just singles.
So, yeah, and that very well could be because there wasn't thousands of eyes trying to.
Yeah, you don't get the whole snow goose show, but you sure you can rack up some numbers on them small packs like that.
You'll notice even with the big packs flying over today, you'll notice like a few birds that you're like, yeah, they kind of want to break off, but it's like they can't convince the rest of the pack to do it. So then it's like, they don't want in. We're just gonna keep.
They're real. Snow geese are more. They like to fly in packs.
It's that pack mentality, safety in numbers.
It's like if the leader of the pack would just drop it all and dive in. It's
so crazy. Okay. So, what is really, really crazy is your lead bird on like any of your flying, in your V's and your snow goose, any of that, your lead bird takes the brunt of the, like when they're flying, they have to plow through with the most energy because they're getting all of that force coming right directly on them, where all the others, they're just following the wind trail that's going past him. So your lead bird is your strongest flyer until he gets tired. And then he goes all the way to the back, because in the back is the path of least resistance in the air, and then the next one takes over. And so they'll trade off in being lead bird throughout the whole entire time they're migrating. One gets tired and it goes to the back.
We were talking about that earlier in the pit as we were sitting there looking up, and we were like, look how much they move. Like if you really look at them, it's like they're constantly crisscrossing each other, and one bird's taking this bird's position, and then a two pack's coming in and they're joining on the backside, and then the line may be bigger on one side, and then here comes another one, and they kind of all join up, and it's weird how they just know how to make it work.
It's weird how scattered but yet uniform, and like how just
smart they are.
Yeah,
exactly.
How well they read each other. Like they're always moving and like changing positions, but
it's wild too. You see the videos where people jump shoot them, or there's call it 200,000 or 300,000 birds, or even like Squaw Creek, holding almost 800 to 1 million birds right now. Well, they all jump up. They never once like hit each other. It doesn't look like they all just sail around, and they all do this, all do that. Like it's so crazy. Weird.
There's a reason, I guess, why they call them all like the flying acrobats or whatever, because they're just. I mean, if you you guys were saying, if you watch them. They never hit each other, but they move all the time. But yet they still
flip upside down when they get excited.
Yeah, they flip upside down, and they're flying on their sides.
They start maple leafing.
Yeah, and I'm like, you ever seen me try to flip upside down? You know what that would look like? A fish out of water.
I haven't, Marcus, but I don't know if I want to.
Steve from Iowa says it the best. He calls... whenever we're honker hunting this year, and their feet down and their wings are all cupped in, he calls it holding pumpkins. So he'll be looking in the air, and he always says, "Oh, they're holding pumpkins. They're holding pumpkins." And I was like, what the hell is he talking about? And he's like, man, he's like, whenever their wings are cupped, he's like, it looks like they're holding a big pumpkin.
Yeah, it ain't no joke though, because especially when they're coming down hard, it's like they just form a big old circle.
Yeah,
and they drop right down.
When we were talking about like the order that the snows are flying in, and how the lead bird is like the trailblazer through the air, they really got to have like a lot of trust in the lead bird. So a lot of the adults will move north before a lot of the juvies, but it's amazing because a lot of like the lead bird kind of makes, I guess, a lot of decisions on where
what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hold on, Gavin. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was going to say we need the lead bird to be a Rossi every time.
Oh, yeah.
Need one with the brand of Joe Biden. All the birds would follow the damn air.
Well, at least they wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, that's bird flu.
Man, I had one that was stupid and was just sitting there. I mean, I think I could have reached out.
Is this the one you beat the shit out of?
I took a metal club and finished it off. Yeah, because literally, you could have reached out and petted it.
Well, you guys had a bunch of avian flu or whatever it was up here this year.
We picked like 9 or 10 up in the fall when they were migrating south.
Yeah.
We picked up like 8 or 9 or 10 out of the spread, dead. But another thing that I want to talk about is how they know how to get down south. Like they say there's like a mental compass in there, but they read like the electromagnetic like sphere that's around the Earth. That's how they travel around.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Like when they're going south, like a bird can get off track by a storm and blow, into another state, but yet somehow
End up where
it still knows exactly how to get to the same spot that it nested, 10 years ago, but yet it's 3,000 miles that way.
Yeah, it's so wild, and I think that's the coolest thing. Like the geo trackers and the backpacks and stuff we were talking about earlier. You see it; it's like they stop at the same places every year too. Like you'll see them, and it'll be like, all right, they stop at this refuge. They fly a couple 100 miles. They stop at this refuge. And sure, there's different places mixed in where they, I'm sure private and public ground that they stop that they could possibly get killed on. But you see the major refuges and the major big bodies of water where they stop every year. Yeah, it's pretty wild how they can get off
they
course.
hit the same exact. They remember those places.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like some of the birds that you kill in places where the birds shouldn't be. Like Steve and them killed that old squaw up in Iowa this year. They killed a sea duck in Iowa. Like what the hell was a sea duck doing in Iowa?
Yeah, I hear a few of them that get killed.
Yeah, they just like
very few, but they're not.
That's why it's rare.
Yeah, they're not like unbelievably rare. I mean, I've heard of a few getting killed.
Yeah,
not many, but I also heard Nick talking about possibly whenever we had that big push of birds around the house a few weeks back. I'm almost positive he was telling Max about.
Yeah, no, he said there was an old squaw right on the river there.
Yeah, an old squaw down there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, right, the field you guys hunted, it was in that field.
I have never seen one before.
Yep. They're weird looking, kind of.
A squaw?
An old squaw.
What the hell is that?
They changed their name. They're like long-tailed ducks now, ain't they?
Okay,
Yeah.
I still don't know what the hell that
It's a sea duck.
Yeah, it's a sea
So
duck.
you got your different types of.
Let's look it up on Google, Marcus. We'll see what you think.
Okay, because I deer hunt. I don't hunt no damn birds. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, no, it's
We can tell.
Okay, jackass.
unplugs Marcus's mic. Goodbye.
Time to go to bed.
No, they're it's pretty interesting the different. Yep, that's it.
What in the?
They're pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah, it's
That's a cool looking duck for
Isn't
sure.
it?
But that
Yeah.
who shot that in Iowa?
Sean White.
Okay.
Steve did.
the guys that we hunt with.
Oh, what's up,
he's
Floyd?
back.
Floyd, you're back.
He's about to start sitting in, I think.
Need me to take the trash?
Somebody's got to work around here,
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it.
saving this here.
So who's it gonna be? Because
Coyote bait.
Coyote bait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all got all the problems all settled?
Yeah, we're solving the world's problem.
We're trying to solve
Oh,
the
yeah.
world's problems.
Next, we're going to talk about politics.
Yep.
Yeah.
dude, let's do it.
We're going to have
That-
you on to talk about that.
That's
Yeah.
that's a rabbit hole we
boy.
can dive into.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if we want to dive into the whole politics.
We're going to have you and Grandpa on to tell us about politics.
Oh, yeah. Grandpa stays up to date with that.
I want
Gotta
to.
have a battery that lasts all night. 'Cause we
I
got
tell
all-
you what, I want to see. I want to see a pod of like y'all don't even like y'all are just here. I just want to see a pod of just like 4 or 5 of the guys that are like 65 to 75.
I know
and
a
just
few.
get their opinions on things. I think it'd be just interesting as
pretty
all
cool.
hell.
We'll do it like Pat's Rainbow Day in the Blind.
Oh God, don't start with that.
We don't
We
need
ain't doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not get into that.
You suggest a rainbow day, and
That's
That's fun.
I don't know.
That
I
was
thought you
for a
boys were
different
okay,
day.
but
Oh my.
That was something there.
before
that,
just now, I'd have said, them boys are good guys.
that was something.
Questionable.
That's for sure.
Yeah, politics. Everybody's got their own opinion, and yes,
They're like buttholes, Floyd. Everybody's got one and they all stink.
yeah. That's for sure.
Yep, that is for sure.
This you got to respect how a person feels about things, but some people get a little hot-headed and get bent out of shape over it. But you got your belief how you want to vote and what you want to do. But I respect that. But respect mine too, you know.
Were the mics picking that up?
No,
say that
probably
one more
not.
time?
I didn't. No, I didn't even. It doesn't matter. I don't have that fourth one on actually because Landon's sitting on the fifth one.
Yeah, no.
I gotcha.
But it'll be all right.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Super.
Sounds good,
that
Floyd.
is something that I wish more people would see it that way, especially because
Yeah, you ain't never gonna fix the world's problems. That's just
No.
why we come up here and get away from everyone
I'm
and
telling
go
you.
duck hunting and snow goose hunting.
go with the
and
whiskey duck.
Go to the whiskey duck, Floyd.
Oh yeah.
Get away from everyone. You know,
There you go.
the only
Floyd's
way
been
to
a lot-
solve the world's problems
Yep.
is to sit in a
Floyd-
hole in the ground and
Floyd's the first member.
of
He's-
whiskey duck.
Yep.
He's more on
First
the
club
whiskey and less
member
on the
to
duck.
$20,000 membership.
Oh yeah.
He's an elite member.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
More on the whiskey and less on the duck. That's for sure.
That's funny.
Crap.
I heard him signing up tonight after that hunt we had today. He was itching to
I'm
join.
in.
Yep. He's
in.
in.
Sold him.
Oh
Hell,
yeah.
I'd join
No-
just for
no-
breakfast.
No geese killed and I'm in.
I'd join just for the food, man.
Man.
Taking it easy on it.
That's why I said we had to give them one more day to live before we destroy them.
You betcha.
It's gonna be on tomorrow, Floyd.
We're gonna kill him tomorrow, Floyd. Don't you worry.
It's gonna be 50-some degrees, south winds.
Them south winds are gonna help
Absolutely
a lot.
beautiful.
We're gonna be putting sunscreen on tomorrow versus what it was
Oh,
like
crap.
today.
Today we were bundled up, even with the heaters on. Gosh dang,
Yeah,
that
it was
wind
cold.
was cold.
It was cold.
Man, yesterday that snow we got was blowing in the blind. It was blowing just perfect, blowing on.
Dude, it was. I told Landon, we were telling Landon, and Brady, we were like, yeah, yesterday was miserable. It was just dumping snow on us all day, and then after it stopped snowing, the wind was just blowing snow right into the holes in the pit, so you couldn't even look up without getting a face.
All these young
Yeah.
kids getting cold these days, Floyd. I mean, I ain't seen nothing like it. I never heard you complain or say you were cold one time today. It just
You know what? It also wasn't blowing 20 mile an hour.
Gosh
winds out
dang!
the door.
Yesterday it was blowing so bad, and the snow was drifting and blowing.
We
We
had a
went
foot of
back
snow
to
shovel
lunch.
out.
And
gone
it
an hour and a
drifted
half.
over the blind.
Yeah.
And
We're
like
gone an hour
Marcus
and a
said,
half. We still had the heaters running while we were gone, and we probably had to shovel out a foot to 16 inches of snow.
we turned the heaters off.
Did we?
Yes,
I thought the one by Pete stayed on.
if he stayed in the blind, but I think he went a while. He went
he?
to lunch.
We're going to have to show them how to stay warm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Floyd says he's gonna have to show us how to stay warm. Back to the good old days when you sit in that concrete pit. And back when it was cold.
You bail out the water.
He stay with the 10 gauge.
We've been going an hour.
Blast 'em.
We've been going an hour and a half. You want to just end
Yeah.
it there?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and wrap her up. We'll let you guys know how we do tomorrow. But otherwise, we appreciate you for listening. We thank Marcus and
man.
Gavin for coming on. So,
We're recording part 2 tomorrow.
I don't know. It depends if we get done. Maybe at lunch. Maybe at
Maybe
lunch.
at lunch.
lunch.
Okay,
Yeah, we
we-
can do
I
that.
think we can
Never
do
know.
that.
Yeah,
do that.
we might do one. We might give a little lunch
Quick.
update tomorrow to
Oh, yeah.
tag on the end of this if we're
30-minute
doing good.
segment or something.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Oh yeah.
All right, fellas. Appreciate it. As always, don't forget, wrap your tag around the main beam. Boom.